Gizmodo just posted on their website a really quick article, and it's probably the medicine that Star Wars fans need. No, it's not how The Rise of Skywalker ruined Disney Star Wars, and it's definitely not how Disney ruined Star Wars itself. It's actually a well-written piece on the Star Wars canon and how it's ruining our love for really good stories. James Whitbrook is the author, and he really hit the nail on the head with this one. If you haven't checked it out, it'll be in the description, it'll be in the video somewhere, I don't know, just go to their website and check it out any way you can. It's titled, "Our Fascination with Fandom is Killing the Way We Value Stories." It's got such a good ring to it. You almost don't have to read the article to know where this one is going, but we are responsible adults, so we read the whole article, and I'm here to break it down, and I can assure you that I agree with almost all of it.
James Whitbrook points out the obvious in his first few paragraphs, and it's something we can all agree with. The massive franchises that we love so much, not just Star Wars, it's important that many of the interconnecting stories fit well together. Interconnecting stories are fun, and seeing the same characters grow and impact each other's lives is awesome, and no one's ever going to say no to that. For that reason, canon is almost essential to any franchise, but especially Star Wars, with so many story elements at play in any script or book or comic. Canon helps us keep track of who's who and what's what in the universe. Continuity is what helps make a story make sense from chapter to chapter, and it's why Lucasfilm has a story group, and Matt Martin and Pablo Hidalgo and a bunch of others, and why they're such a big part of writing stories. People love this stuff. People have built careers out of canon in real life and on the internet. Unfortunately, our love of canon and continuity and perfect interpretations of what's come before is a big reason why a lot of Star Wars fans are at odds with each other. And because of that, we lose sight of what really matters here, and that's the story itself.
Okay, quick sidebar. I know I don't usually do this, but I'm saying Star Wars canon. Really, this article is about all kinds of canon, Marvel and DC and the like, but because this is a Star Wars channel, I'm relating to stuff that we already know.
In this fantastic article, Whitbrook brings up a couple of points that I really hadn't thought about before, and the first is canon has taken over how the media portrays Star Wars. The media, and not necessarily every media outlet, but lots of them have now started including how a story fits into canon as a part of how good the story was. Is canon a part of what makes a story good? Yeah, I'll concede it's a part, but it's not the whole thing. And that's where I think a lot of fans go astray. The other thing he brings up is that fandom's love of canon hasn't only killed the love of the stories, but the recognition of the story makers. How many times have you seen Rian Johnson killed Star Wars canon, or J.J. Abrams doesn't know Star Wars on your feed? Honestly, sometimes I feel like every other video that shows up in my recommended is some half-assed YouTuber complaining that JJ or Ryan didn't read Shadows of the Empire. Who cares? The stories that they told are what matter. Thinking critically about the stories is what matters. Some things, really a lot of things that we talk about on this channel, are related to themes and parallels and emotions and character arcs. I love thinking about characters' journeys and how it relates to other stories and other characters, and not so much on whether he or she knows how to use a specific force power. You can go check out my Things I Hate video for that. But nonetheless, canon seems to kill that way of thinking. Fans these days are more concerned with how characters do certain things and what certain things are and how they work, as compared to caring about the actual story and elements trying to be conveyed in any given scene. I mean, how many times have I said that since I started the channel? James Whitbrook says in his article that the stigma of filler episodes, something Star Wars Rebels was blasted for on multiple occasions, is all rooted back to us as fans having an unwavering desire for facts and knowledge rather than a fun and interesting story. I mean, have truer words ever been spoken than that? James also says discussing canon can be fun, and it adds a lot to a series. Notice the choice of words he uses there. Canon can add a lot to a series. He didn't say a series can add a lot to canon. Why? Because the story should always come first. The story is why we watch, and the story is what should be important. Here's the saddest part of all of this, and James mentions it in his article too. The thirst for more canon knowledge leads to a lot of toxicity in the fandom. If you want to be a know-it-all fan, that's perfectly fine. I'm one, and I have no shame about it. The problem comes in is when we use canon to keep others away from loving Star Wars. Canon knowledge is not the end-all, be-all of being a true fan, and too many times I see someone bringing someone else down because they didn't know whatever about a certain character. My final thought on all of this: the fandom's need for more canon has almost completely destroyed the nuance of story interpretations and the need for deeper thought. Fans have no need to think thematically or critically about a character or a scene or why someone said something or why they did something because there's already 1,500 words about it on Wikipedia. Why question a character's motives if you can just ask Matt Martin on Twitter? What fun is that? Why bother watching or reading any story at all? We all come to Star Wars for the wonder, the adventure, unique characters, C-3PO's jokes,
my parts are showing, my goodness,
sinister villains, and courageous heroes of all kinds. We come for the mystery, and for the reveals, and for the fun of it all. Why do we have to leave the theater or close the last chapter, or read the final cell and bicker about the smallest insignificant facts when we can celebrate Star Wars together? Until next time, I'll see you later.